Hey there, and welcome to today's video. For today's video, we are building the observatory. I know I tend to be the person that says I'll build something and then I won't build it for months and months. So this time around, I decided to actually build the observatory right away since I mentioned earlier this month that I wanted to build it. So it took me all month, but at least I actually got around to it this time instead of waiting for the end of the year. Now, observatories, I debated a lot how to actually build this, because here's the thing, a lot of them have a dome, and that is not something that works out really well with Sims, at least not the way it is right now, since you don't really have rounded walls. You have rounded porches that you can build, or you have rounded platforms that you can build as well. But platforms and walls don't really merge together and you can't use the inside of the platform. It's basically a whole solid structure. So what I did was I actually got two platforms. I put one at the bottom and one at the top. And I ended up putting a roof, which we do have circular roofs now. Before it was only, I believe, an octagon and a hexagon. And I made that clear. So I made that kind of its own observatory, kind of like a little private area. But I also took the opportunity that that was on the roof and I put a telescope up there. And basically the rest of it is either space-ish related stuff or a lab. So the way I did this in Sims is I really wanted this to be on a mountain. I don't know why. So the first thing was playing with terrain tools. I cut a lot of that out, so I'm sure you won't get to see a lot of it, but trust when I say it is not the funnest thing to play with. It's just kind of strange because you're always trying to level out flooring at a certain point, and then you can only do it in a certain area, and then if it's too high, it ends up being all brown. But don't worry about that, I ended up fixing at least most of it with landscaping, which I also spared you the trouble and got rid of most of that. So a lot of landscaping and a lot of debug went into this build, and I decided to classify it as a library. The reason why I wanted this to be a library instead of just a random build or maybe listed as a residential lot was that I wanted this lot to actually be useful. It counts as a library even though there's only, I believe, 2 bookshelves, but there is, I believe it was 4 chess tables, and it has a lot of science equipment. So if you're interested in developing your Sims logic skill, I think this is definitely a good place to go. We have a telescope, we have 4 chess tables, we have 2 bookshelves. Oh, we also have some of the microscopes in the basement. I ended up building a basement behind one of those bookshelf doors, thinking this is a restricted area, kind of like where the employees might be, or where they do their tests and stuff. So down there, I actually put 2 microscopes. I had to put 3 desks. I originally only wanted 2, but for it to be a functional library lot, it needed 3. And I ended up putting a couch, a microwave, and a coffee machine, even a shower downstairs. So I know the grind on Sims, and I know it's annoying to have to go back and forth to your own lot whenever you need something, whether it's food, whether it's energy, whether it's hygiene. So I believe I got all the bases covered. The only ones that aren't really covered would be if you needed social, but I'm sure other Sims would come since it is a community lot at the end of the day. And I didn't actually place a bed, which is also something that would have been nice. There wasn't a way to put a bed without it looking completely awkward, and I wanted to try to make it look like a day bed, but I couldn't really make that work out either, so I ended up just putting a couch. Besides that, it's all just basically art, so I also debated classifying this as a museum, but I don't actually believe I had any sculptures. Most of what is used for decoration is actually just debug stuff, whether it's some stones, whether it's paintings, whatever it is that you see around. Most of it was definitely from debug. So in this case, it wasn't really an issue since it's not things you can really walk through. But I will warn everyone, I didn't actually playtest this lot. This lot was definitely more for the looks than it was for the functionality, so it will take you forever to get all the way upstairs. But I did enjoy making it. It was actually quite interesting since I've been wanting to use a lot of these crystals from debug in some way, shape, or form, and I'm actually glad I got to figure out how to use it. Now, as far as realism goes, I don't think this is very close to what an observatory actually looks like. Not any that I've seen, even though I haven't seen many. It is what it is. There is a lot of restrictions when it comes to The Sims, and at least we did get the telescope in there. I think that pretty much drives the point home. And let's be real, unless it's something like a community lot, you don't really get to use microscopes in your build. So it was really fun to be able to use a lot of these items that you either wouldn't normally use or it wouldn't normally make a lot of sense. There was still a lot of items that I debated whether I should have in here or not. At one point, I had a lot of fossils, which I guess you do have microscopes, but at the end of the day, that really isn't what this build is about. But anyways, we're getting close to the end of the build, and I would like you to tell me what you think about this one in particular. I actually built it right next to the lot where I built my tulip farm, so I was kind of happy to see how the lots looked in the world right next to each other. It is a weird shape, it is kind of an odd build. I don't really think there are many people that have tried to build an observatory in The Sims. I didn't actually check the gallery before building this, but I will definitely check it out now. So do let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know what you'd like me to try out next. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great weekend.